Good afternoon, students. Today we will discuss on rights. That's actually there in your module 3 of the paper Political Theory, Issues, Ideology and Debates. The first part of module 3 is debates on rights, moral versus legal conception, rights versus duties, and theory of rights. It's actually theories of rights. So today we will start with rights. Now, this is a term we all use in our everyday life. It's not that only political science students they use this concept. Even a common individual, he or she uses this concept. And why suddenly so much uh, discussion, so much demands on right? The essence of right is the acknowledgement of human diversity. It means that with the increase of population, issues of rights, demands of rights, violation of the rights, it also increases. The heart of human diversity and therefore the human freedom is the question of truth. And that truth is pursued by different people differently, right? So why these rights are there, or freedom? Here I am using rights and freedom interchangeably. Now it's because of the human diversity. And why there is diversity? Because truth is unknown and different people they perceive truth differently, different perception by different people. And the attitude towards truth is always the center of avowal or denial of human right. Avowal means affirmation, right? If you are accepting and respecting others' right to understand the truth, then you are actually accepting and respecting his or her own rights. If you deny, suppose if I deny you that you should not have any attitude towards the truth, you should not say what is truth and what is not, then actually I am damaging your rights. So basically, these rights is nothing but it is a means to search what is truth. Right. Now, right defines the position of an individual in a state. If I don't have rights, then I cannot think myself as a citizen. So, if I am a citizen of a state, it means I must have some rights. The presence of rights is the proof that the state exists, right? So the existence of the state is proved if the state provides and protects the rights. The presence of it is the proof that the state exists for the individual and not the individual for the state. Now, individual has created this state. Now, the state is existing for the individual. It's not vice versa. Individual is not existing for the state. It virtually determines the status of a political civilization achieved by the state. The success of the state is the story of its successfully handling the issues of rights. Rights provides conditions. When I'm saying the state must protect the rights of the individual, state must provide rights to the individual. What does that state do? I mean, what does that state should do when it is providing rights to the individual? So basically, the state provides conditions, atmosphere, situations where adequate development and expression of individual and his or her personality is grown. So rights are related with individuality, individual's personality, individual's development, adequate development. A individual without rights is slave. So it is rights that distinguishes who is a slave and who is a citizen. There are many definitions of rights, and for me, I picked the definition given by Basan Bosanquet, Bosanquet, Bosanquet. Now, to him, quote and unquote, a right is a claim recognized by the society and enforced by the state. Now, right is a claim of whom? Claim of individuals. A right is a claim of individual, and that claim is recognized by the society and it is enforced by the state. So, what does it mean? When why I picked this definition as the best definition? It's because in this definition you will find there is a very good relation between the society and state so far as this concept right is concerned. So rights are related with the society, rights are related with the state. The society recognize a right to be called as a right must be recognized by the society and it must be enforced by the state. So the end of both state and society is to enable individual to achieve its or his best. Why? There must be a very complementary relation between the society and state will be there. That is very crucial. Now, rights are related with the human development, development of human personality, development of individuality. Now, that development of individuality will be possible only when both society and state they will create condition for the individual. Suppose the state is enforcing the rights, but society is not recognizing that rights. Then individual, despite there is support from the state, the individual may not develop his or her individuality. So the contribution of state and society is must for the realization of right. Now for developing personality, individuals must have the opportunity of free action, freedom of thinking and freedom of action. If there is no freedom of thinking, freedom of action, then there will be no innovation, right? In fact, the development of personality is connected with the innovative qualities of the individual, right? If you are innovating something every day, then every day you are developing your personality. And that innovating qualities can be possible only when there is the opportunity of free thinking and free action. Now, to seek these opportunities, individual puts forth certain claims. Now, how the state will know what should be the rights of the individual? Who will start? Now, it is the individual who will start. He will first claim something, claim, and he has to justify how his or her claim is related with his development of individuality or individual personality. The individual has to create opportunities by claiming before the state, and then that claim has to be recognized by the society. That claim has to be enforced by the state. Then only that claim will become the rights. Now, what claim the society will recognize and the state will enforce? Now, if the claims are not selfish claim, right? However, these claims should not be selfish and requires social recognition, without which they are empty claims. If the society is not recognizing that claim, then that claim becomes empty. And when the society will not recognize, now only when these, if the claims are selfish claims. So as long as claims are selfless, claims are universal, claims are for all, then society will recognize it, and subsequently the state will enforce it. Now, for the existence of right, there must be three things: whether, I mean, if I want to enjoy rights, then I must have three things with me. First is the power. Here, power means from physical to non physical, right? Economic power, social power, political power, right? So, you must have power. Basically, if you remember Robert Dahl's definition, it is the ability to influence the others. And second, a claim to recognition of power by everyone possessing that power. That means, second, the society must recognize the rights. So if I am not powerful, then I rights are there for me, but I may not enjoy that rights if I am not a powerful person in the society. And second, the rights what I am claiming for myself, that rights must be available for all so that the society will recognize it, right? And third, sanction of the state. State's sanction is required. For example, if state will not sanction, then problem will arise if someone will violate my rights. Now, to protect my rights, sanction of the state is the must because it facilitates the common welfare. Now, the realization of common welfare makes powers into rights through social recognition. So, my claim becomes a right with the social recognition and with the state's sanction. So my right is my power, which is recognized by the society and sanctioned by the state. Very simple. My rights is my power. I must have the ability to influence the others. Nobody can dare to violate my rights, so that I must have the power. So my rights is my power, which is recognized by the society. Society is also recognized it and sanctioned by the state. Now these rights, it or these exist within the society, right? Rights implies duties. So that is very important, right? If you go through the talk given by Professor G. Horgopal, Philosophical Foundation of Human Right, he said, I am a human right activist and I do understand when I'm saying right. The concept duty is embedded in it. Those who are demanding rights, they must do their duty first. My duties will become your rights. Your duty will become my rights. And rights are related to end. Rights are related to end, and the end of rights is to contribute to the welfare and advancement of the society. I said rights cannot be selfish. A right is a right if it is a selfless claim. And what is the end of right? Why you are, and rights are not privileges. Why you are enjoying rights and why state is providing and protecting your rights? It is because through rights you will develop your individuality, and thereby you will contribute to the welfare and advancement of the society. So rights is related with your contribution towards the society. Rights are prior to the state. It is the basic condition of social life, and social life is the basic condition of the state. So this is another characteristic of rights, that rights are prior to the state. That means through rights individual contribute to society, individual contributes to social life, and the social life is the basic condition of the state. The society is formed by the individual through the rights. So by rights I am contributing values, and these values creates a society, and the society creates the state. So rights are prior to the state. Rights are rights are required, needed. It's not that rights are required after the emergence of the state. Now what are the characteristics of right? Rights are social because it arises, it is nurtured in the society. Rights are not selfish interest because it has a moral end to serve. Rights strengthens only welfare of the society and the state. So rights are not privileges of the individual. Rather, rights always strengthen the others. So if I am a human right activist, I should not talk about my rights. I should protect your rights. I should protect animal rights. I should protect the societal rights. So rights strengthen the others, not self. Then rights are not created by the state, because the most fundamental aspect of right is that it must be recognized by the society, because individual enjoys right in the society. So rights are not created by the state, rather rights are sanctioned, protected by the state, but it is not created by the state. Now who creates right? Now it is the individual and his or her society. Then rights are not privilege, it is the consequence. When rights are given to one section as against the other, rights are not privileges. It means it's not that one will be given rights as against the others. So when we are saying rights, it is universal in character. It is not that one will be given against the other. Right. So rights are not privileges. This is universal. Now rights and duties are correlated. Rights without duties are like men without shadow. Right. So without duties, you cannot think about rights. If you are a right activist, then you must be a duty bounded person. Then rights has its own life. How? Now rights grow, rights develop, and rights expand. So that's why rights has its own life. There are different theories of rights. There are liberal individualist theory of right, legal theory of right, historical theory of right, idealist theory of right, social welfare theory of right, Marxist theory of right. So let me take 2 minutes or 5 minutes gaps and we will start these different theories of rights. The first theory of rights is the liberal individualistic theory of natural right. Now, to this theory, all men or individuals possess certain rights by nature, natural right. And these rights are inalienable. These rights are fundamental, inherent, absolute, sacred by birth. And these rights are self evident. It does not need any justification. And since it is natural right given by the nature, these rights are independent of society and the state. And these rights are neither taken away by the individual or by the state. And these natural rights are pre-political and pre-social because it is not created, it is independent of society and the state. It is the end in themselves. It is there prior to the society and the state. Now, this liberal individualistic theory of natural right takes us to the state of nature and the law of nature of contractualist thinker. And what are those natural rights? Life, liberty, property. These are the natural rights. So, liberal individualistic theory of natural rights speaks about these three kinds of rights. These are the inalienable, fundamental, inherent, absolute, sacred. Then the next theory of right is the legal theory of right. In 18th and 19th century, it was realized that individual cannot enjoy natural rights unless they are recognized by the society and protected. Sorry, they are recognized by the state and protected by the law. So, legal theory of right arises with the necessity of recognition and protection of natural rights. It is also the outcome of the monistic view of sovereignty, which holds that political power is vested in the hands of determinate authority. Law, policies, and rights flow from this authority. Hence, rights are the creation of the state. So, in the legal theory of rights, right became the creation of the state. It is not pre social or pre political, it is determined by the law, granted by the law, and protected by the law. So, legal theory of right is justifying itself on two grounds. First, it is saying that rights must be legal because nobody can violate it. If anybody will violate it, then protection will be given from the state side. So these natural rights were not protected by any law or any agency. So to protect the natural rights, rights needs to be legal. That's the first justification. And second justification is that monistic, I mean sovereignty, the state and its sovereignty, right? Sovereignty basically means it's a determinate authority which is externally and internally free. And a authority is a authority from where laws, policies, and rights these flow from the authority. So, a authority is a authority because rights are derived from it, laws are derived from it, policies are derived from it. So that's how, you know, rights became the creation of authority, creation of the state. A state is not a state if it is not giving rights to the individual, protecting rights to the individual. So, according to this legal theory of rights, rights are not pre-social, pre-political. It is determined by the law, it is granted by the law, and it is protected by the law. And what law does not give, that is not his or her right. Rights are neither absolute nor inherent, they are relative to the law of land. So, rights are not absolute, rights are not inherent, rights are subjected to the law of land. The rights what you are enjoying in the abnormal time, these rights are not available for you. State can abolish the right, state can add more rights. Overall, individuals' right to life, liberty and property is determined by the state. So this natural right subsequently become the legal rights. And people lose their absolute claim on those rights. Instead of that, people get security from the state if there is any violation on their rights. State has the only power to punish the violator of others' right. It is said that you should not take law in your hand. Who has given you power to punish others? The law will punish. The state has the power. State is the only institution which has power to punish those who are violating others' right. So that is why outside the state there cannot be any rights. So when you are saying rights, rights are within the state, not outside the state. Natural law either agree with the law of land or disagree with it. If it agree, then it is superfluous or surplus. If it disagree, then it is futile or fruitless. In both the cases, they are ignored, right? So, rights became the product of law of the land. Rights are not the product of natural law. Now, natural law may agree with the law of the land or it may disagree with the law of land. If it agree, then there is no problem. If it is or if it is or if it disagree, then there is no meaning. The law of the land will prevail. Why? Because the law of the land, this is or this represents the higher consciousness of the individual. Higher consciousness of the individual. So there are three important points in the legal theory of right. First, state is the source of right. State is the protector of rights, and right changes when law changes. The third theory of right is the historical theory of rights. According to this theory, rights are the product of long historical and evolutionary process in the society, right? So in some sense, rights are the product of convention. People have been doing it since long. Now it become the basis. People claim that it is not static, it is changing with the changing time and circumstances. So what is, according to this theory, what is claimed today that was not claimed yesterday and that will not be claimed tomorrow. So it is changing, this claim is changing with the changing time and circumstances. It is crystallization of customs and tradition. Rights has its origin in the custom which once found practical social utility and passed on one generation to other generation. That is something called socialization. Individual claim different things and their claim is related with their socialization. It is related with their custom. It is related with their tradition. Now, if a person has been receiving birthday gift from a friend for a number of years, then he began to expect it as a matter of right. Expecting, expectation. You have been giving me birthday gift. I mean, for a number of years. And I am expecting that in my next birthday, you will give me the birthday gift. If not, then I will ask you, I will claim it. To this historical theory of right, rights starts and begins like this. The rights which the people think they ought to have are just those rights which they have been accustomed to have or which they have a tradition of having. So, what my forefathers were having, I think it is my right to have. I am accustomed with those conditions and I demand those conditions in my life as well. So this is all about the historical theory of rights. Then the next theory of right is the idealist theory of right. This is also known as the personality theory of right. To this theory, rights are external conditions essential to man's internal or real development. So these are the external conditions essential to individuals' internal or real development. And these conditions can be created by the state. Right. It considers that the supreme right of every man, the supreme right of every man is the right of the personality. So, all rights are directed and subordinated to the perfection of human personality. So, rights are related with the human personality. There is potential in you, and these rights will give conditions in which your potential will be converted into your personality. Hence, right to personality is fundamental right, and all other rights are derived from it. Right. So, according to idealist theory, that right to personality, every right is related with right to personality. And hence, right to personality becomes the fundamental right. All the rights are judged by their contribution towards the development of human personality. Whatever rights you talk, all these rights, if it is contributing to the human personality, then these rights justify its own existence. Every time a individual claims a right, he must be able to establish two things. So whenever I claim any right, then I must establish two things. First, I must convince the society that the rights which I claim is absolutely necessary for my self development, not selfish development. Selfish development means my development at the cost of others' development. And self development means my development will not be a barrier of others' development. So, this is the first that I need to convince the society that my claim is necessary for my self development. And second, in making those claims, I am not in any way interfere. I am not in any way interfering with the similar claims of others. My rights should not violate the other's right. So these are the two things I need to establish before I claim it as my right. Hence, rights are to be linked with individual good and common good. Individual good and common good. Rights, I mean, we can say that rights must be related with the common good because there is individual good within the common good. Individual, I mean, something cannot be good for individual if it is not good for all. Right. So in the next class, we will deal with social welfare theory of right, then Marxist theory of rights, then we will discuss different types of rights: civil rights, legal rights, human rights, moral rights. Right. What else we should discuss? That's it, I think. So in the next class, we will complete the first part of your module 3. So thank you.